You are now entering the box. All right, Kirk Kellus, Clean Impact. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, first podcast you were telling me. That's awesome.
It is. It's nerve-wracking but exciting at the same time. But I fortunately, I've listened to you for a while now, and I know you're an excellent interviewer, and I know you make people feel really comfortable. So that put my mind at ease, brother. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like to have a conversation. That's how I treat it. I don't do a lot of prep or anything. I just like to see where the conversation takes us.
Man, that's the best way to go. Absolutely.
No, you were talking about Fridays or whatever, trying to kind of get your mojo going, or usually on Fridays it's not a hard thing. But it's funny you said that, because yesterday I was feeling like that, and honestly a little bit today too, but I was like, I don't know, it was just weird. I don't know if I was getting sick or what, and my kids had been sick, so I don't know, I kind of felt weird in my face, and so actually what I did, I'd never done before, this place behind us does these like vitamin injections.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna try it, screw it.
How'd it work for you?
I feel like it worked good. Like I was good. This last night was weird. I don't know if it has anything to do with it or not, or if it was me fighting off a sickness, but I was just like sweating my ass off in bed. It was so crazy.
After the drip?
This was way later. Like I did the drip, it was like 10:30 a.m. And this was just sleeping last night, at 11 or whatever, after the debates, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was fighting something off, or if it had to do with that, or it was a mixture. Yeah, soaking wet. It was terrible.
I think a lot of it. Somebody was mentioning barometric pressure or something. I don't know about that, but since it's common, I had it. You had it yesterday. I felt the same way, just drained at the end of it. Same thing, head clogged up, but all the rain that we had. I love the idea of a drip. So I have a nurse practitioner doctor. His name's Matt. He has Redefined Healthcare.
Yeah, Matt Sassman. Yep.
I love it. And they come out to our office and give our team drips.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we sit down. He brings his equipment out. We sit in the arcade area, and he gives us a drip. And you can pick whichever one you want out of like 10 different kinds.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I didn't know he did that. I knew he did it there, but that's cool. He'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Because I was joking around with the team, because I was talking about it. I was like, come on, we just got to make a bunch of money, man. We'll get the people in here doing drips for everybody.
That's what it's all about. So what we did, instead of going out to eat for like Christmas or something, we have decided to do this at the shop. So
nice.
Have them come in and do it that way. And you build some team camaraderie and laugh at each other a little bit.
So this wasn't actually like a full-on like drip, I don't think. It was like a syringe. I mean, they got in your vein and gave it to me or whatever, but it was like not sit there for a super long time by any means.
Hey,
so I don't know the difference. I've never done either. That was my first time doing that. So
you a fan now? You're gonna try it again?
I would rather try. I would want to try an actual drip and see what that's like.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like I was Bert Kreischer. I was watching something about him, and he was like doing a double show out in Colorado, and he booked a bunch of cabins. He was saying, he's like, yeah, I booked a bunch of cabins for my buddies, and then I got someone coming in first thing in the morning to give everybody IVs. And I'm like, that's hilarious.
Stuff you just never know is out there until you get out into the field and try it out a little bit.
Yeah, that's interesting. So Clean Impact. Commercial cleaning focused?
Commercial cleaning focused, yes.
When did you get Clean Impact started?
We started back in 2017.
Okay.
We actually took on our first customers in 2018.
Nice.
I thought, I put together this great plan, and we'll get customers will be banging down our doors. I know how bad they need it, and it took a year to get the first customer, and
wow.
That's me knocking on doors and doing all kinds of fun stuff just to get the first customer. So
yeah. What made you decide to start a cleaning company?
Well, I love processes. I love efficiencies, and I'm just a geek when it comes to finding better ways to do things. And just knew that cleaning was an industry that could be disrupted. We look at it when you go into buildings. You notice there's a lot of, sometimes you get congested, or you feel your nose is plugging up, or you sneeze. That's dust. There's issues with that. And I'm a recovering germaphobe, so it's a point of pride that I wear.
Yeah.
It is. So when I walk in, I notice these things, and then I also notice how people are treated. And I just knew that it was an industry that, through my efficiencies and through the gift that God gave me of encouragement, that I could really make an impact and hopefully help guide people and guide myself along the way. So it's been fun.
That's awesome. So are you from Springfield?
I am. Yep. I grew up here. I've lived here my whole life. I was away for college only, and I've been back. We have deep roots here and lots of family in town.
Where'd you go to college at?
I went to Illinois State. So even though it's not very far, it's only an hour away still, but it was very fun.
We've hired like Ryan went to Illinois State. Yeah, Holly. We've hired like 4 different people or something that've gone to ISU over the years.
That's awesome. It was a great school. You know, while I was there, they were building the School of Business. So I watched this massive, beautiful building being built. Yeah, and then the year I graduated was the year it opened. So it was really, you know, I'm a little older, so technology, you know, everybody didn't have a computer, but it was really neat because this auditorium, every seat had laptop hookups, and it was just a really cutting edge building, and it was cool to see it built. I'm sad that I never got to visit it or perform there.
I went in there for some reason. What were we?
I think you and Josh went for a fair or something.
Was that what it was? I was in that building like in the last year or two for something. I was trying to remember what it was that we did over there. I know we went for a job fair one time, and maybe Nick and Holly or maybe they just took me over there. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, it was a cool building for sure. But yeah, we've had like four or 5 people at this point that have been there.
ISU alum. I like to hear that. That's great. That's
I guess that's a new requirement or something for Hootbox. So how many people you got at Clean Impact?
Right now we are mid-80s. So 87 people, I believe, is what we have right now.
That's crazy.
It is.
It's a hard thing to manage right there. I can't imagine doing that.
Well, and as you know, it's a lot of personalities. And that's the most challenging part, is just figuring out the personalities and how to communicate with each person. Yeah. Because, you know, there are different communication styles, and each person receives information differently. So trying to come at people with empathy and compassion, but still being firm and holding people accountable is probably one of our high points that we enjoy doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, we got 13 people or something here, and it's just funny how it's changed from, you know, 1 or 2 to 4 or 5, and trying to keep everything how it needs to be and balance everyone's personalities. Can't imagine with the 80.
Well, and especially the difference with us is we're not all in the same office, right? You walk out in your office and there's all 13 people are here smiling at each other and looking at each other, and that can be good and bad, right? Because everybody has their personalities. So as they're around each other a whole bunch, even more than their family, those things are going to, you know, there's going to be conflicts, there's going to be challenges that arise. Now with us, it's a little different because we don't see our team every night. You know, we have, of our 80-something people, we're right around 40 full-time people. The rest of our folks are part-time. But again, they're going out to buildings every night, and so we don't have that central hub that are bringing people in daily. So we try to do, you know, lots of events to encourage people to bring their families and their kids out to our office and to get everybody together so we can get our personalities can blend, we can get to know each other and see why we're doing what we do.
Yeah, I gotta get over and check this place out, man. You got I think you guys have been like a whole area for your people, right? There's like arcade stuff and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
So we call our shop the Mullet, right? So it's we have business in front and party in the back.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
It's really, you know, the interesting part about the Mullet is we have 35 acres. It's right here in the middle of Springfield. Nobody even knows we're back there.
I know. I looked it up one time. I don't remember I don't know what it was, but I looked it up and I was like, oh man, he's got a whole little space back here.
Yeah. Well, the cool part about that is again, that camaraderie that since we don't have people coming to a central location, being able to bring the team in and take nature hikes, and we bring kids in from, you know, from other organizations to come out and visit the place, go on nature hikes. We can fish. We have, you know, like I said, we have an arcade and a movie theater and all kinds of fun stuff, and all the toys that go with property. Yeah. So it's really neat.
Yeah, I see randomly posted for fixing something on a Bobcat or the side-by-side or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wish we had a little bit of land, even at my house. Like, I love our house. I love our location, but it's like not. I mean, which, you know, it has its pluses and minuses. Obviously, then you got to take care of it.
And like you said, being able to take care of your house and then take care of more property, because it's a lot. And you know, I'm particular about how the timber looks, and I like doing that myself. It's kind of my retreat. I get out there, lose all thoughts, kind of brainstorm a little bit, make some notes, and cut down trees and sweat, and just enjoy that part of it.
That's cool. Yeah, I think you told me one time you guys play paintball out.
We
Don't
do.
you? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, we used to play paintball a lot when I was younger. I guess in late high school sometime.
When you
Played a
went
lot
to
of
Southeast,
paintball.
didn't you?
Yeah.
So did you play at like Little Dodge City in Taylorville, or where'd you play paintball at?
Yeah, I think so. Is that the like farm?
Yeah, they had like the buses and the barns. You could go up top and sniper
yeah,
people.
Yeah, that is where we
freaking-
played. I couldn't remember the name of it, but yeah, Taylorville. That's definitely where it was. Place was awesome.
Dude, that was rad, man.
That was like the best place ever.
I remember it's a funny story about this. My younger sister tells a story all the time because those paintballs hurt, right?
Yeah.
And so she got hit one time with it, and the next round, and every round therefore, she'd take a paintball and smack herself in the arm with it and say she was out and walk out, and so she didn't get hit again. She didn't tell anybody until like years later, but man, I crack up
That's
about that. It's so
hilarious.
funny.
Yeah, we played there. There was one in Springfield, kind of by downtown for a while. I don't remember. It was in like a warehouse over there. I don't remember what it was called.
Never made it to that one.
I only played that one like once, I think. And then what was the other one we would do sometimes? I can't think of what the other one was. But yeah, that Taylorville was definitely the main one. That was awesome there.
It was. The other one was on the way to Rochester, on the kind of in the river bottoms. I remember there being a temporary field set up there. On I don't know, Route 29.
I think I'm thinking of actually the other one I was thinking of is my buddy's cousin out in New Berlin had like a whole thing set up. Have you ever been out to that? Have you ever randomly? I just
Nope, I
wondered.
heard about it.
He built like a whole like crazy setup. He's got a whole like little war zone out there. It's awesome.
There's nothing like the adrenaline dump you get whenever you either whistle or you're getting after each other. And it's like, oh man, it's exciting. And
Yeah.
then you get hit and it does hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, let's go again.
Yeah.
And that was the cool thing about our timber is, it was really overgrown when we picked up the property. So through my work with chainsaws and things like that, I would stack all that wood up between trees. So we created all these natural barriers on this whole 5-acre part of our property just to play paintball in.
Yeah.
And so you can't really see the barriers because it's timber. It looks really good. But man, you can see them when you're hiding behind them because that's what you want to be.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really
That'd
fun.
be fun doing that. So 2017, that would have been, I got started 2016, so right around the same time.
Man, what a journey we're on, right? Did you think it was going to turn out the way it has so far for you?
I don't know what I thought. Actually, it's crazy how many times it's changed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't probably seem like it from the outside in, but when I first started, I thought we were just going to be producing videos for people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, what do I do with the video? I'm like, well, post it on social media. And I go, how do I do that? You know what I mean? It just turned into like, damn, people don't know how to do any of this.
You're right.
Or don't want to, or don't have the time to, you know what I mean? Obviously, you can learn anything if you spend enough time, but so yeah, it's been craziness.
What's the most fun part of your growth that you've, like, what vertical have you taken on that you've enjoyed the most? I mean, I know you like it all because you're really good at what you do, but what's the vertical that you're really passionate about right now?
So I've been in like a tough kind of spot for a while because, obviously, like I have this battle with like, I started the business because I love creating. Mm-hmm. I don't have any time to create it. You know what I mean? So I'm at this spot where I'm like, I'm trying to just get more and more off my plate, and it's been a challenge. But it's good. It's a good challenge to get through. It's just getting through it kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, you're right. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. They're really good at their trade. They're really good at their vocation.
Yeah.
But then as you start introducing business practices into that and having to take care of other people and realize that it's bigger than just you.
Yeah.
Then your passion was this vocation. I was really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have to introduce all these business practices into it, which muddies the water up and makes it stressful and not be able to sleep at night and thinking about that.
Yeah, it's all the business side of it. It's like it's fun, but it's like it's fun in a way, but it's also kind of pain in the butt also.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Like you say it took you a year to get that first customer.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? What was the journey? What did it kind of start to look like from there? Was it like that person recommended somebody, and then it's like, boom, now I got two, or was it like I'm just curious how this kind of sales started with it.
It's making those deposits. So as you're going around, you don't think that you're getting anything with a year of passing out flyers and knocking on doors. I'd walk around carrying rolls of toilet paper with me with a little sign on that says, "Tell me about your pain in the ass," but it had the picture of a donkey on it.
Nice.
And I'd pass it out and We tried everything as suckers or bundles of suckers, and I'd go into attorneys' offices and say, hey, I need some help. I stole these from my kid. I hope they don't get me trouble. So it was just really some funny stuff trying to get people's attention.
Nice.
So once we got that first customer, it was actually through just a relationship.
Yeah.
And then, of course, not being able to afford an employee or anything, it was me out there doing the work at first. And, just really passionate about that. Saw that the customers can see the power, the passion that we put into what we were doing. They did. And they gave us a referral. But you have to ask for it. Say, hey, anybody else that could benefit from this? And so the first two came from referrals, and then the third one came from another referral from an accounting firm that was helping us set up our books. So it was just it kind of just kept spiraling from there. Yeah. And once you get one person that believes in you, then they can tell your story for you. So you telling your story is totally different than somebody else putting their spin on your story for you.
Yeah. It kind of like validates it a little bit or so. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's not you like talking about it. Most of our business forever was from referrals or people just reaching out on social media. And that's probably one thing that's slowed our growth to an extent is that I never either didn't do it myself, and then probably could have hired like a salesperson sooner, you know what I mean? But it was, I don't know, I was also kind of scared to grow too fast, and sometimes that has its problems too, if you can't handle the work.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I always kind of think about that, you know what I mean?
It is, and it's. I think everybody goes through that, right? I was the same way, scared of growth, and I'm still scared of growth. Because nobody in my family has ever had a business. I don't have a mentor that's so close like that. So scaling and growing is scary because it's something that's not familiar to me at all. And we did the same thing this year in January. We hired our first sales guy.
Yeah.
It was just me selling before and word of mouth and me selling, and that's all that we had. And so this sales guy now, it's terrifying first off because it's an expense that, it's tough to afford those things right away, but it's an investment.
Yeah.
And we know that, and watching, somebody else tell our story and seeing it done in a way, and it's a good friend of ours that joined our team. So we're really blessed to have him helping along because he knows us personally. So as he can be passionate about, it does. So it's been amazing. We've seen growth this year, and it's just finding that stride now. So I feel like the second half of it's going to be just amazing.
Yeah.
But maintaining that quality is the hard part.
Right.
And that's the challenge because, again, I don't want to scale problems. I want to scale solutions. And so trying to figure out all these little nuances of what SOPs need to be fixed, how can we streamline these things and make it better? Because we're just trying to repeat the same thing over and over again, but be passionate about it every time. And, it's hard to do that when you're doing the same thing over and over again. It's easy to get complacent.
Yeah.
So we're trying to prevent that.
And that's one of the things I've definitely prided ourselves on as I'm never afraid to just pivot. Like we recently decided to completely switch all of our systems, which is a big undertaking. So we've been moving to like a new CRM and invoicing and everything. And it's taken a lot more effort the beginning of this year than I thought, because my goal is like, all right, we need this done within 2 months. And it's taken a lot more effort because there's just all these weird issues we run into, but long run it's going to be much better because it's better for tracking sales and just the sales process and monitoring people with that, and really better having your finger on the pulse a little easier, so that's one of the big changes we made that I think is going to be huge.
So is that an enterprise system? Is that what you guys are introducing? Does that have like your accounting, your marketing, everything included in it? Not marketing, but
not the accounting. It's in our invoicing system. So I guess from that standpoint, it would have the numbers from that. But it does have some good marketing functions, but mostly just as an overall CRM, like having a good all the information, of potential clients, have they been to your website, just stuff like that. It's just data. Love data.
Oh man, data it makes my heart happy seeing data. The little numbers that really add up, because most people aren't paying attention to these things, and they're wondering why they're not able to achieve, maybe milestones that they've set for themselves, but they're not following up on a little bit of data.
Yeah, and a little bit of data goes a long way. I thought I was going to sneeze there.
Oh, that's funny.
So when did you really start, you said you got 80 people. how much, like, has that been a lot of those people over the last year or two, or was there a point where it was like really you had to hire a ton really fast? I'm just curious on your growth.
Yeah, so it's been pretty steady for the most part. This
that
year
helps because it's not like trying to flood it with people when you need it all of a sudden and then losing that quality.
Yep. And so it's funny because you're always trying to find that balance of bringing on new team members, make sure they're trained up and bringing on new accounts, but not having the new team members do non-production hours, right? Because that costs money, obviously. So trying to find that balance of bringing on the right amount of people, and you have to have quite a few people in order to filter through and find the ones that, the cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
Well, we're a premium service company, so we want people that believe in our mission to serve at a very high level. So there's a lot of folks that come through the door, and through our pre-hire training or pre-hire orientation, we kind of filter through. So we, it's been really steady. The first year, I remember we had 15 team members, and then it's pretty much doubled almost every year since then.
Yeah.
And now, in the beginning of COVID, it was really wild. So everybody says, well, you started a cleaning company at the right time, right? No, it's all of our schools shut down, our offices shut down. We were pivoting, trying to figure out ways. But it was really cool during that time because we were tested. We picked up a state contract, and it was all over central Illinois. So you're talking statewide, well, everything from I-80 south. So we were all the way down to the southern tip too.
Cool.
And with that contract, we had to bring on 150 new people.
Oh, wow.
The trick is we only had less than a month to figure it out. And so and I was so impressed watching the team work through this and navigate this and really attract the right people. And not only do we have people, but we had to have logistics set up and supplies ran and supervisors checking in on the projects and inspections done. So logistically, it was quite the task. And seeing this go down and watching our team step up and fill in these positions made me realize, man, we've got this. We have the right people in the right seats right now. And it took a little of the fear off of my plate thinking, man, what if we scale it wrong? And what if we get a bad reputation? What if... So it was really nice to see that go down.
They're ready to step up and kick some ass.
They did, man, and we thrashed it. And the cool part about that is this contract was actually cut really short, really weird, and it was but we have folks in all these locations now that believed in what we were doing because we treated it. Our goal is to treat people with respect.
Yeah.
And so even though we had to let people go really quick, they still believed in us. So as we pick up these contracts in these distant areas, we already have our nucleus there.
Good contacts.
Yeah, we have our nucleus, and we're able to, once we get what we call a staple in an area, then we can branch out from that.
Yeah.
So it's been really interesting. Yeah, so it's been a blessing.
Currently are you mostly Springfield focused?
We are still central Illinois. So we have, we go to Decatur and Hillsboro and O'Fallon, Glen Carbon. We have some down at the southern tip. And then we have Peoria and Bloomington. So we've kind of branched out a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, remote locations are challenging because
Yeah.
but our team's getting it figured out.
Do you actually have like any other physical locations?
No, our office, so funny story, we started out at Innovate Springfield downtown.
Oh, did you? That's
yes,
cool.
So I'm the 13th member down there.
Nice.
And it was a really fun thing. I actually joined down there with the intention of building a technology platform.
Yeah.
Which was a really cool concept. We had a lot of fun with it. And
that was there in 2017?
It was, yeah. Yeah. And again, there were very few people knew about it.
I guess I knew that actually. I met with somebody there one time.
It might have even been before. It might have been 16 or so.
Yeah, I think I met with someone there in 16 one time.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't know why I didn't join that. I was just working out of my home office. I guess that's cheaper.
Oh, it's definitely cheaper, but I didn't know what I was
connections doing. Probably would have been, good, and yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that's cool. Innovate Springfield's neat.
Yeah, they've been a huge help to getting our launching pad started. They had resources, accounting, and they had resources for legal, and which was cool for somebody that had no money or no experience. It was really nice to lean in on folks with more experience. And then they had a mentorship program there too, and I know they still have it, and they're getting ready to expand even yet. So I'm interested to watch how they continue to grow and continue to help people. And, because entrepreneurial is hard, man. Everybody thinks I'm going to kick back, kick my feet up, and everything's going to be a piece of cake. But as you know, brother, it just gets harder and harder the farther you go.
Yeah.
But you just get better at dealing with the challenges that keep throwing your way because they happen all day long, every day. They never stop.
Yeah, definitely tests you. So you for sure have to have the right mental, mentality for it, I guess you could say that, because, you got to be able to deal with a lot.
The one thing that helped me through this was when a high-earning mentor that I have just mentioned, what you have to understand, the faster you can get your mind wrapped around the fact that challenges, problems never go away. They're going to hit you every day. You just know they're coming, and you have to deal with them over and over and over again. So the faster you get to that point of realizing, man, I'm broken because these challenges keep coming. How come I haven't figured this out yet? No. They're coming because you're figuring things out, and because you're growing and you're bringing new opportunities and you're trying new things. So of course it's going to happen unless you get stagnant. Who wants to be there? Nobody's happy with that.
I guess that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, and that really is. It's like, all right, problems coming your way. You got answers. Figure it out.
Yep. And it just is what it is. The better you get better at dealing with them.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's been one of the hardest things you've had to deal with your growth? Is it the management, the overall? It's
a good question because there are so many. None of it's hard, really, as you know. It's just some of it weighs on you more.
Yeah.
I would say probably similar to you. It's trying to find that rhythm between work and family. Mm-hmm. So even because you have 3 young kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have 2 younger kids. Mine aren't as young as yours. Mine are 9 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
But they were as young as yours when I first started.
Yeah.
And as you know, early in the industry, you are spending so much time away and trying to figure out. But I had a home office, so I would always find that time to eat with the kids and cook dinner. But then when they went to bed, they always knew Daddy's lights on in the office. You can see he's in there taking care of work, and I'm up before them. So the hardest part is as they grow and as their activities become more, I don't want to miss out on all those things. So it's trying to find that rhythm of what am I going to show? I don't miss a performance of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going to miss it. And I don't want to, because once they decide that I'm not as cool as I think I am right now, and they move on, I'll have more time to focus energy on that stuff.
That's true. So. Yeah, eventually they don't. Yeah. No, that's definitely been one of the most challenging things for me, because when I started Ootbox, I didn't have any kids, but I immediately, like, a few years into it, I was like, man, I don't know how anybody starts a business with kids. Because once I had kids and I'm like, wanting to be there, wanting to be part of it, that's been one of the most things that's messed with me mentally, is because whenever there's like a tough time or something that needs to get done, like I've always just been able to put in the work, and work 12, 14 hours a day, whatever I need to get it done, get it passed, get that thing completed. Mm-hmm. But with the kids, like, it's so hard for me to even just stay late.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all right, I got to get home and get them put to bed, be there for bedtime. Even yesterday, I was at the Memorial Health Championship networking thing. Mm-hmm. And my kid had his last T-ball game. And I assistant coach it. And I mean, I've been at every single one. So I was like, I'm gonna miss this. I might miss this one tonight, bud, and let him know. But all the kids yesterday, because there was one yesterday too, I kind of gave all them a heads up and gave them all 5s and told them how good they were this year and everything. But I was there and I was like, God damn it! I gotta get to this game.
Mm-hmm.
So I left a little bit early and was flying to get there, and I ran up right before. He got to his last. He was literally walking up to home plate to bat.
Awesome.
I just ran up. I'm like, Brax, hit it hard, buddy.
Just to let him know you were there.
Yeah, he was like, yeah. So it was cool to get there in time, because that stuff always weighs on me when I have to miss. It's not very often, because I've made a point of it, but
yeah. Well, and you hear people throw around, work-life balance. I mean, there is no balance to it, right? Work takes up a lot more of your time than home life does.
Mm-hmm.
But just finding that harmony is what I always like to say. Just make sure you're putting in those deposits. Make sure your kids understand that, I'm here when you need me.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not here, I'm thinking about you, and I'm doing things that are helping us become better people mentally, and that helps keep my peace in my mind too.
Yeah.
For whatever that's worth.
Yeah, and you're doing it for the family, and
mm-hmm.
But it's tough though. I know my wife just started staying home, and I told her, I'm kind of jealous that
mm-hmm.
you're home with the kids all day. Except when they're being little assholes in the morning. I'm like, oh, looks like I gotta go to work. No, they're awesome though. Being a dad's crazy.
It is. It's really fun, and it is nice that to have that, be able to have your wife at home right now, especially when the kids need it the most.
Yeah,
it really is.
I'm glad we made the switch.
I agree. We're fortunate enough to be in that same boat, and I feel the same way. I get jealous a lot of times. Like, God, man, I'm getting that one done. So, even during summertime, like everybody's schedules pushed back like an hour. But I said, no, we're still going to wake up at a certain time because we have to have our morning huddles. I need to know what's going on today.
Yeah.
And so, I've been fortunate to get, people still wake up and I get to see them in the morning still.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids just wake up early as hell.
Man, that's usually, early in the morning is a great time for us.
I know I basically don't have to set my alarm clock because I'm going to be getting woken up.
What time are they typically up?
It just depends, man. Sometimes they're up at 5:30, 6:30, all around there. Every once in a while they'll sleep till 7 maybe, but usually one of them at least is up by 6:30.
It's wild. They'll want to sleep in on the days that you have something going on in the morning where everybody has to get up. And like, I just want to sleep in, Dad.
Yeah.
Why today? Why?
Yeah, they're not sleeping in at all right now. Like these kids need to go to bed later or something. Jeez, but it wouldn't matter. They'd still wake up.
I think it's our fault. They're more is caught than is taught. You're a busybody. You always have to have things going on. I can tell, and so they're seeing those things. So you're wondering, why are they always wanting to do stuff? Why are they always so busy? And then you reflect back, it's like, crap. They learned that from me, man. I'm just that busy.
No, it's crazy how much they end up being like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My son's so he's so like particular, and I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna be just like me.
It's terrifying because all the things that you did as a kid, and your parents know some of it. And when I always said you're gonna have a kid just like you, like, man, that terrifies me. Man, jumping off of roofs and sledding off of them and doing that goofy stuff that we did as kids, and wondering how in the hell we made it through.
Yeah, no, it's definitely weird.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Crazy how fast it goes by.
Yeah, I know.
It's old quick.
I know, and obviously everybody's trying to figure out how this happens like that. But I think we just keep going from one event to the next, one softball game to the next, one practice to the next, one piano lesson to the next, and all you're thinking about is you're already thinking a week down the road. So before you know it, that week is gone already.
Mm-hmm.
So by thinking in the future like that all the time, it's what you think about, you're drawn to. So the future happens faster than you can imagine.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the saying, the days are long, but the years are short?
I have.
It's kind of crazy. And it really feels like that, especially now having kids.
I haven't heard that in a long time, so it hit me a whole lot different right now when you just said it too. So that's something to think about.
Fly by.
Yeah, it does.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, God, I'm going to be this is craziness.
Man, I already have the gray hairs popping in already. It's like, man, I've earned every one of those things. I don't care what color the hair is, as long as I still have some.
So what's the next step for Clean Impact?
So I think it's just continuing to focus on being our best and try. So I think about this all the time. It's like training is important, right? We want to make sure that we're cleaning properly and we are using, chemistry to the practices that's required by the industry. But at the same time, if you're not motivated or if you don't have a good culture, it doesn't matter how much training you go through. You're not going to live up to your potential if you're not being pulled towards it. Mm-hmm. So I think what I'm going to focus, and what I have always and what I'm going to continue is just continue to build that culture of personal excellence. And I always tell people that, and everybody gets freaked out about it. And it's like, I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I never anywhere said that, but you're living up to your potential, whatever that is. It's going to be different for me than it is for you.
Yeah.
But as long as we're growing our culture, focusing on personal excellence, making deposits into your personal excellence, and constantly working on that, then the training that we've implemented will actually, it comes to fruition, right? So if you're proud of what you're doing it for a reason. And the reason is, more is caught than is taught. They're going to catch us being remarkable. And we're being a good example for our families. We're making deposits of our excellence because we want our families to live up to their potential. But you can't tell anybody to do that. But they can watch you do it, right? And they're going to replicate what you're doing over and over, especially your kids and the team that's looking for you. So just moving forward, just trying to be our best, and then understanding that, times may slow down, and kind of understanding how we can pivot into more of an avenue that allows customers to be more in control of their investment that they have towards cleaning. So that's something fun that we have coming down the pipe, because I know it's going to come. So we're going to create this platform that allows customers to be more in control of their cleaning of their building. So it's fun.
What's that mean? Like they let you know if they want something cleaned or more clean or something?
Yeah, it'll be more on demand, and then they'll have more control over it. So, obviously running a business, you have a lot of overhead. Mm-hmm. There's, especially in an industry like ours where we're constantly going behind our team to inspect. Mm-hmm. We're constantly following up with our team to allow them to be their best. There's a lot of overhead that's involved with that. If you have a smaller business that doesn't have that overhead, you don't have to charge as much, right, to get to the same end goal. Because everybody wants, the goal of business is to make profit.
Yeah.
So if you have less overhead, you can charge less, and it gives the customer a little more to, it gives them a little more variability to choose from. Now, if you want like done for you, like you can do with you, which means I'll provide you the team, we can do that, or done for you, which means I'm going to lead the whole team, then you can take the full platform. But if you want some where you're going to help with some of the accountability of it, then we can show you what investments a little bit cheaper maybe.
Okay.
But still maintaining the quality, because that's one thing that's extremely important and that differentiates us from the industry is our quality.
So if I'm hearing this right, it's basically allows the client to verify that it was clean to their standard. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
instead of you having to come in behind a team and just making sure it's perfect.
You're close to it. That's a small feature and a small facet of it, but that's just kind of give you an idea of how we can offset some of that overhead.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of other.
I just am in like different industries. It's interesting ways that you try to figure that out, because we deal with the same thing. We're actually our companies are very similar, just different. Areas. But it's all. I assume like monthly contracts for these services, and so it's all about like figuring out your efficiency, how much can be spent on each thing, and
you're right.
It's a challenging thing.
It is, but that makes it really exciting too. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Our industries our business models are completely the same. We're service based, and we want to provide the best service using the minimum amount of resources possible to provide that best service, and getting curious about the future and how things are going to look is exciting for innovators like us. It really is fun, but then sometimes, I don't want to put too much energy on this project yet, because it pulls away from our mission of our current growth that we're on right now, especially with the new sales guy and all that fun stuff. So, but it is in the back of our mind, because obviously I don't know about you, but I lose sleep every night thinking that everything is going to collapse tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I just think like how I'm going to lose everything tomorrow, and I don't know how.
All right, what if this just happened tomorrow? You know what I mean? You're just in your head about it.
Oh, and then you lose sleep over. But then you realize, man, we have over 100 customers. They're not all going to walk away in one day.
Right.
But in our minds, it's like, man, this can all go away.
Economy gets terrible. Everyone just cancels in the same day.
Yep. And it's terrifying, and it is a spiral you don't want to be on, because I always talk to some of the kids that I mentor. Is like, thoughts are like magnets. You're going to attract to them. You're going to attract to you what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to think about that part of it, but I have to keep it in our radar, just like you do.
For sure. Be prepared. I always say, plan for the worst, hope for the best.
I think I saw that written on your bathroom wall.
Yes. Our gas station bathroom in there.
I like it.
That was like the only thing we didn't remodel. So I was like, we just got to lean into this being old.
I think it's great. Yeah.
Hung like random. We went to Goodwill and bought random pictures to hang on the walls.
It's a very fancy bathroom.
It'll get us by for now.
That's right. I love it.
Yeah, no, I like that though. That's neat. I mean, it's kind of, I guess in a way, like we have our, this new website we've been working on, and obviously a website with what we do is a really big deal as far as how we're setting up this new one. So it's kind of been the same type of thing. It's like this big project. We're trying to make it really amazing, because we do websites, but it's, oh my God, it's taking so much time to get it right. And it's on this new platform where you can do a lot more cool stuff, but it's harder to do, Well,
you're further along too, so you're recognized, like your first rendition of your website. Man, I need to get something out there. But now you understand through the information, the data that you're getting from your customers, what's getting that attention, what's pulling people in, and how are you going to keep them there for a little bit longer? How are you going to convert them? So you're much farther down the path. So I can imagine the energy that's going into a new website right now has got to be pretty intense. And
obviously I always hold myself to a high standard, so trying to make this thing cool. But it's like, it's really neat. Like, for example, I don't want to give too much away on it without launching it, but it on the homepage, there's a little cartoon dude flying a drone. And as you come to the page, your mouse cursor turns into a little drone. So it looks like this little cartoon dude's flying this drone around, but it's you know what I mean, with the mouse.
Dude, that is rad.
So we just have a bunch of little things and like stuff built through it that just make it, a fun site to be at.
So what made you think about that? That's a pretty cool idea. The drone thing, the whole cursor.
Well, so we made a bunch of these little cartoon guys because we have like, we say social media ninjas, drone pilots, on the back of our business cards. And I had her draw. She's awesome at like just drawing little characters and animation and stuff. So I had her draw just these basic little characters to utilize in some of our marketing and on the site. And they're really cool little guys. But one of them had a little drone in the drawing, and it just kind of moved back and forth. It was just a little GIF.
Yeah.
And then I was like, take the drone out of that thing and just put it into another little image for me. So then I was able to use the image as the mouse cursor, and yeah, it's pretty neat.
So little details like that obviously elevate amongst everybody else in the industry. So paying attention to those little things is really cool, and I'm glad that you obviously, I can tell the kind of guy you are. You obviously, the little details make a huge difference for you.
Yeah. And it's kind of in videos, honestly. A lot of times we editing videos, and people like, we do these little things, and it's like, man, they're not even gonna know that we just did that. But in your head, you're like, that's messed up right there. So it's always tough getting past that.
But now if you didn't edit that out, they would certainly notice that, because you see it every day, with professional like movies and things like that. You see how flawless it is a lot of times. So whenever you see a little flaw, you're like, oh crap.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah, that's really neat.
So yeah, it's been an undertaking, but just learning the new system, honestly, is more of what's taken longer than anything. It's kind of, I don't know, just different, I guess.
So the new platform that you're using for yourself, are you going to now, once you learn it, or is that what you're going to use for all your customers too, moving forward?
Well, we use Wix primarily. So this is just a new part of Wix.
Gotcha.
And I mean, we will definitely offer that option. It would for sure be a premium option, because it takes way longer to do anything. And honestly, just the ideas, like little things, you know what I mean? Like sometimes that takes the longest. It's not implementing it, but it's just coming up with a good idea of like a little thing like that. Like I was working on the header of the different services pages, and I just could not come up with a good idea for it to make it unique and fun and cool. I probably spent 4 hours just playing with different things, 4 or 5 hours,
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then it was really funny too, because I was here on a Saturday, nobody was here, so I had my music going, I was kind of trying to get in my zone, but for that 4 hours I was not in the zone. And it was funny because the music changed, and like I kind of got in my zone like all at the same time. And I was just on a roll, and I was like, it's funny how that works. You kind of get it on a flow. And
yeah, that flow. So you said the music changed. Was that like on your playlist change and it brought your mood up, or did it?
Yeah. I don't know if it was like, there wasn't. So I had just a playlist going that was on shuffle, and I didn't really think about it, because I just had music going and I was doing it. But I think there was too much variation in the songs or something, because then when it changed, it was like on a good, like every song that kept coming, it was, it just kept my flow rolling. And I don't know, it was weird. I just caught that though while I was doing it. I was like, because I could just feel myself like being able to get after it.
Well, I love flow, and I love vibrational frequencies, and I'm a huge fan of studying these things. And we talk about this to our team all the time. So I'm always interested when I hear other people talking about finding your flow state and knowing what time of day you're best receiving flow, and when you can get into it, and like how you just lose time whenever you're into it. But once you look back, you're like, crap, look at this, man, I'm the man.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I love frequency. We talk about it all the time with our team. It's like whenever you're sitting at your dinner table and you get goosebumps, that's somebody thinking about you and putting that energy out in the world, and you're feeling that frequency. That's what that goosebump is, because you did something remarkable for them. Maybe you left a hand-drawn card on their desk, or maybe you brought them in a gift, or because we encourage our team to do that all the time with customers. We empower our team. Each one of them has a $20 per month budget per customer that they go to give them something nice, just to bring something on a desk, buy them a book. We always, and the cool part about it is,
I like that. We were just talking about doing more like stopping in and stuff like that again. Now that we are growing our team, it's like trying to make it a little more time to be able to do that.
It is. And I'll tell you, a hack that we use is we have family art night at our house. So we'll all sit around, we'll draw, so you give us a category, we'll pick it out, and then I pick that category, and we draw. We have contests on who draw. Nice. But what we do is we use those hand-drawn cards, and give them to our customer. We write a little hand note on them. And so we've encouraged our team to do the same thing with their kids. And we'll pay the kids $5 per card that they color and hand write on. So we get a handwritten card, hand colored and hand delivered for $5. Man, what a deal.
That's hilarious.
So, but it empowers them. They do great. And they have these little small businesses off to the side. Their kids are creating these cards. But it's that personal touch. But that's that energy and that vibration that's coming back is that goosebumps, that frequency.
It's really weird too, because we talked about like the kids thing and just getting older, all the different things change, you got more responsibilities, whatever. I found it's harder to get into that, but I've also not tried to identify some of those things that you were just talking about, like is there a time, what's the situation, what's the because yes, I guess I've never really thought about that. But yeah, if you can just try to mimic that and make sure you pay attention to that, you might have a better time. Because I was the same way when I worked at home. Like I didn't have kids, but Jessica, I would work during the day. She'd be working. She'd work late. She got off at like 7 or 8 o'clock. We'd have a late dinner. Mm-hmm. She'd go to bed. I'd be in the office. And there's sometimes I'd be like, all right, I guess I'm just going to stay up all night and get this website done for this client. She's like, what? Yeah, then sure, she wakes up, she hears me getting in bed at like 5:30, 6 a.m. But I would always, that's the problem with me too, is I feel like mine is like the middle of the night. I've always been a night owl.
Is that right?
And it's just, I can't do it because I got the kids. And so it's really weird.
Times change, and that's a weird thing. But our habits are hard to change. So that being that night owl is a perspective. That's what you think you are, and you keep telling yourself you are. So you're going to be that, and it's just how it is with the mindset thing. Yeah, I absolutely love that part of it. It keeps me curious.
What book was I reading where they're like, it was basically about that. It was like if you say, like I'm trying to stop smoking. Mm-hmm. Don't say I stopped smoking. Yeah. And use that instead. Otherwise, you're always giving yourself permission to keep smoking.
Your brain doesn't hear.
I'm trying to stop. Yeah. What I mean. I guess that means I could have one today.
Yeah. Well, even with that, even like I'm going to quit smoking. Your brain's not hearing to quit, and it's hearing smoking. So what you say is I'm going to live healthy. And so it's taken the whole
not even having that
aspect of that out of there, because you don't want to think about that, whether I'm not going to smoke or I'm going to not smoke or I'm going to quit. That's your brain doesn't hear any of that. All it hears is smoke. Like, yeah, let's do that. That's a great idea.
Sounds amazing. What kind of stuff do you like? What's your typical schedule look like? Do you have a time that you like do any kind of like workout or anything during the day? I've been trying to get mine set up to do something in the morning before work. Yeah. Again, sometimes at the end of the night, I like almost feel more like doing it than I do in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a mental toughness program, and I do it multiple times a year. This is about my 4th year doing it. So within this toughness program, you have 75 straight days of working out twice a day. One of them has to be outside for at least 45 minutes.
Is that the 75 hard?
Yeah. So it's actually Live Hard. So I've done this program for 4 years now. And
really?
I do it twice a year. And so I'm 60 days into the first part of it right now. And so I'm a morning guy. I get up at 5, whether
I've been trying to switch. We're talking. See, I am switching.
Yes, you're switching. And that's what you say. I enjoy mornings. Yeah. I enjoy the mornings.
I actually do. It's just,
Well, it's peace. Well, with your kids, as young as they are, they're waking up early, so there is no peace at that point. So that's my time to jam. I get up and I get my workout in. I get a lot of water going. My dogs are prudes, so they get breakfast in the morning. And then my kids wake up, they get breakfast. We do our morning huddle, and then I get out the door. So summertime's a little different because everybody goes to sleep an hour later. Yeah. So I let them wake up an hour later, which means I go to the office an hour later. So it's kind of it's an adjustment just because of that, just to allow them that time. Yeah. But I'm nice. Wildly regimented and
yeah. What is the 75 hard again though?
So you do 2 workouts a day. Both of them have to be 45 minutes. One has to be outside.
Inside, one outside. Yeah.
You have to drink a gallon of water a day. You have to read at least 10 pages of a self-improvement book. You have to take a daily selfie. Which sounds weird. You don't share it with anybody, and it's just about discipline, right? It's the little things that make a big difference, and that's what that little picture is. And that's usually how I fail, is forgetting that damn picture. So, and then you have to follow a diet of your choice with no exceptions, and there's no alcohol or anything involved in it. So, the diet is I'm a snack head, man. I love some snacks, man. I'm a late night snacker. Yeah. So I had to push no sugar, no fried food, and no eating after 7 o'clock is my only diet. Yeah. And that's the only thing and it's freaking hard sometimes,
Yeah.
man. So
I did no alcohol and no, like, I can't say no sugar, but like not, any kind of sweets basically.
Yeah.
For a month one time, and just to see if I could do it, you know what I mean? And I did it, but it was definitely, the sweets thing is so hard.
God, I know, man. It's
sugar, man. It's the craziest drug.
It is.
Caffeine.
God, it's in everything too. And I'm with you. I eat fruit and things like that, but
That's how I was solving it. I would eat fruit instead of candy at night.
Drizzle some honey on top of my English muffin with peanut butter. Oh man, see, that's natural stuff.
Yeah.
So.
No, I've been. That's one thing in the last year I've been trying to get better at, with just my diet and overall health. I've never dedicated regular time to exercise during the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard. It's just been hard for me to do.
It is.
But if I can get up earlier, give myself a little bit extra time. And my wife started waking up at 4:30, 5 in the morning, because she was trying to wake up before our kids so she could work out. And it was fine for a little while, but now they just get up.
Started waking up even earlier, huh?
So she's like, damn it. It's like, I'm supposed to get some time to myself in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
No, she uses this app called Ladder. It's an exercise app. So she sent me a free trial. It's actually kind of neat. There's the way that they did the app is brilliant. It's a beautifully designed app. That's, I pay attention to weird things, and I'm like, God, man, this is a good ass app. No wonder it's a popular app. But there's these different coaches on there, and you plug in what you're trying to accomplish, and they set you up with a coach, and then there's a workout. The week of your workouts pops up each week, and there's a video, and they're talking to you, and you could watch it, and it has timer, has everything. It was a great way they did. You could switch coaches if you want. And I don't know. I tried it. It's pretty sweet. I understand why she likes it. You don't have to really think about it. You just go down, you do your workout. You don't have to plan anything out. Yeah. Pretty nice little app. It's for the year, I think she paid $170 or something.
And there's probably some gamification in there too, where you check in a certain amount of times in a row, you get rewarded or something.
There's all the other people can cheer you on. It's I was working out, all of a sudden a bunch of things fell down the screen. I was like, what the hell just happened? She's like, oh, someone cheered you on.
See, that's just a little bit of accountability, right? You want to not let other people down. You can let yourself down, because we've done it too many times. We've lied to ourselves way too many times.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, and you don't do it. And you get in this habit of letting yourself down. And then once you realize that you're letting yourself down, then you realize how many times you let other people down. You're just holding yourself accountable again. Mm-hmm. And it's an interesting thing that our minds are, and it's fun to journey.
So you do this 70. What did you say that? What did not 75
it's
hard?
Called Live Hard.
Live Hard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's, and during that, obviously, you have to read, and you just seem like a guy that probably tries to read and make himself better regularly through that.
Yeah.
I've tried to do books on tape more. I don't know what reading it. I just like the books on tape better.
Yeah.
But what has been one of the most helpful books that you've read, if we're looking at either business books or self-help growth type books, or what would be a couple of your favorites that's been most beneficial to you?
So I have such a hard time recalling songs I enjoy, or artists I enjoy, or books that I enjoy.
I could explain it to you a little bit, but
my capacity is not there to retain that information.
That's
but
hilarious.
There are a couple, and I'm like you. And this is something that's helped me as far as working out. It's my opportunity to listen to a book and not feel guilty about it. So I know you have a drive-in and things like that, and you're able to do it then.
That's the best time for me.
But it allows you to feel like that drive is not so burdensome anymore. Same thing with exercising. I put my book on tape, and right now I'm raising amazing daughters or something. And because girls are weird, and it's hard to understand our little ones especially, and how emotional they can get. But this book is really helping through that. But I don't feel guilty for working out, you shouldn't feel guilty working out anyway, but you're taking time away from something else. But I'm a multitasker just like you.
I would say kill two birds with one stone, man. Get the book and the workout in.
Yep. Now, even when I'm mowing my grass, whenever I mow grass, I would do lunges. I would listen to a podcast, and I was mowing grass. I was getting 3 things done at one time, and it made the neighbors thought I was hilarious. There's videos out of me lunging back and forth and doing calf rises while I'm pushing the things. So,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Actually, with her staying home, my wife's freaking was like, I'll mow the grass. So she's been mowing the grass. I kind of miss it because it was like a forced workout.
Yeah, it is.
Because I don't have no help self-propelled any of that. It's just old school mower.
Yeah.
So it's always a decent little workout doing it.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. You get a little bit of sweat, and then you can enjoy yourself. You feel accomplished afterwards. But it's nice when they're taking over too, because then they're getting the same exercise, you know.
Yeah, so kind of miss it a little bit, but I've had I'm trying to think. I really enjoyed Atomic Habits.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice little book.
I feel like I went through that one too. One that you might enjoy is called The Power of One More, and it's a book by Ed Milet. It's just
check that out.
He has a way of kind of.
I thought I had one that was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he has a way of kind of. I don't want to say dumbing things down, but making it more relatable to everyday life. You know, sometimes books are really kind of
connecting it with you.
Yeah, he does. He does a really good job of telling stories, but also how these stories have impacted him and kind of just the ways that they can change your outlook and just pushing yourself just a little bit harder. Because the fear that we have is leaving something on the table. Like, I didn't give my 100% effort. I didn't live up to my potentials, like I say all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the Power of One More just says, hey, man, you got a little bit more in you. And if you do this, you're going to feel rewarded afterwards. You're going to feel really great about yourself because you're doing things nobody else will do when people won't do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of I always like doing that.
I feel like I was trying to look it up. I feel like I read something that was similar to that, but I didn't see it in there, or listen to something, I guess. Do you say listen when you read?
I do. Yeah, I do, and it's kind of weird.
Read?
Yeah.
I always end up saying read. I'm like, well, listen, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, on this program, you have to physically click through pages.
Part of it,
and so I get that part of it. But see, I have a tendency to cycle through the same 10 or 15 books for at least a year or two. So all my
because there's a couple I've read. I'm like, I feel like I need to go back and listen. Like there's one I came across there I was going to mention. It's called Think Again, and it's about like rethinking things. You know, we talk about processes. We talk about how to make things more efficient. It's like try to start from the beginning and rethink this. Is there, you know, and it was a really good book. I remember listening to on the way home from Maine.
It's fun. So I'm along those same lines. I'm right now. The paperback book that I'm reading is Think Like a Freak. You know, it's like Freakonomics. So it says, let's use some data. Let's think of this outside of how everybody else is looking at it. Let's try to find the real underlying issues of why these things are happening. But it gives you a different perspective. Instead of like everybody's hitting it face on, what happened 5-10 years ago that could have caused this right now? But it's all about data. It's all about numbers. It's all about economics. So it's really an interesting read. It's like the third time I've gone through it. But each phase that you're in, each phase of life that you're in, you're going to grab something different out of it. But then you get to these pages, you're like, oh yeah, this one resonates again and again. But I'm just kind of weird. I haven't cycled a new book in probably 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah. And that's funny. The Elon Musk always uses this thing. First talks about the first principles thinking. I think it's called. It's basically the same thing. Like, you know, he's talking about a rocket. You know, he talks about like, well, why is it built this way? Like, let's take it back to the very basic core of what it is. Like, how do we this was kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, I can go off on some long tangents about like propulsion and gravity, not gravity manipulation, but gravity understanding and teleporting and all this junk. Dude, there's some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And there's some weird research about it too. And there's some legitimate. It's crazy, but it's a different time.
Yeah. Save that one. Well, what's the best way for someone to find you?
We are either our website is probably the best way, cleanimpactllc.com. We are on social, obviously. My personal is Kirk Kellus, and the business is Clean Impact.
Awesome, man.
We have YouTube is probably my fun thing because that's where I get a chance to talk to my team. So I have 600-700 videos out there.
Do you?
I do, and it's
I haven't seen your YouTube. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, so it's under Clean Impact, and it's again, it's not about. We do train how to properly clean, but it's more about being your best. So all of the things that we talk about, we open it up to the public so our customers and our potential customers can see the conversations we're having as a team. And because again, that's our differentiating factor is our culture that we've created and we continue to work on. So there's a lot of cool videos out there. You can look and laugh at me and my bow tie and all kinds of stuff. So
that's awesome. How'd the bow tie come about?
Okay.
I think I've asked you this before, but we got to include it in the podcast here.
Probably. So obviously bow tie is marketing, but there's a cool story behind it too. So marketing, there's very few people that can pull off a bow tie, let alone shorts and a bow tie and boat shoes. That's a whole different animal right there. But every morning my kids help me pick out my bow tie. So, sometimes they match, sometimes they don't. But what it is when somebody comments on the bow tie, it reminds me of my kids and why I'm out doing what I'm doing. And it's a cheesy story, but man, it warms my heart every time somebody asks me about the bow tie. And my daughter picking it out for me, and my son usually helps with my socks and things like that. So it's just, again, this industry's tough.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur is tough. Being a small business owner is really hard too. Reminding why we're doing the hard nights and the stressful and all the gray hair and all that junk is kind of, that's what helps me out. So the bow tie does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. How many bow ties you got?
Oh, I probably have. I don't know. Maybe. It's like guys with ties, they have tons of them, right? But bow ties are a lot harder to find, though. I mean, ties are everywhere. Bow ties, you can't find anywhere locally. There's a couple of places that'll have a few of them. I probably have maybe 50. But the combination of shirts and bow ties.
I was going to say, if you got a bow tie, you got to have a lot of collared shirts also.
And I can go a whole year without wearing the same combination, man. It's pretty neat. So
that's funny. I just thought about the shirt thing too. I'm like, man, if he's wearing a bow tie basically every day, he's also got to wear a collared shirt every day.
Yeah. But when it gets hot out, that's when I had to start introducing shorts in there, man. That's, like I said, that's a bold move to start walking around with shorts and a bow tie on, man. You gotta,
I love it. It's all about the marketing, man.
That's right. I know you'd appreciate that part.
Yeah, for sure. Got people, whether they like it or not, if they're talking about it, it's working.
That's right. Yeah, a guy in a bow tie. So
that's awesome, man. Well, it was great chatting with you today. We'll have to do this again sometime, and everybody check out Clean Impact for your commercial cleaning needs.
Cool, brother. Well, I appreciate it, man. You again made this super fun, and I'm just grateful for you and the work that you do in the community. I love seeing you everywhere. It's like if there's a baby out there, you're shaking hands and kissing babies. So I love that, and that's what you have to have, and it shows your spirit. And your team has a great leader, being able to see you out there and catching you do that stuff. So good job on what you're doing,
Awesome.
brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.